we put since the NFL put in instant replay.
Well, if a receiver makes a reception and a defender hits him high in the shoulder or the head area without launching himself, is that not penalized? Is the launch the difference?
No, that's still a foul if he's not a runner. If he hasn't had the opportunity to if he's defenseless, you can't hit him above the shoulders at all, whether you're launching or not. The launching comes in when he's actually caught the ball and it's completed catch, but he hasn't had time to protect himself. So then if he launches and hits him in the head, then it's a foul. And they just kind of expanded what is a personal foul on a receiver. And they just carried it a step farther, because as it was last year, if the receiver had possession of the ball with 2 feet down, he's now a runner. So you could hit him in the head. So now all they've done is stretch it a little bit farther and say he's got to have the opportunity to be able to protect himself if the player launches off his feet and then hits the player in the head. So that's the difference. It's just a slight modification. But if the receiver's up in the air and you hit him in the head with your forearm, your shoulder, whatever, that's a foul.
Well, I just ask because sometimes these slight
Now, if I say
modifications.
something wrong, you get it.
No.
All right.
For the fan watching, and me,
I understand I'm from Arkansas, so I hope you guys are not having any trouble understanding what I'm saying. Yes, sir.
Sometimes these slight modifications for fans and people watching becomes confusing. Why not just say you can't hit a guy in the head?
You know, you'd have to ask the competition committee and so forth. That I mean, they're the ones, as you know, they're the ones that pass the rules and so forth, and then we're asked to enforce them and so forth. And so, but that's not to say that at some point down the road that won't happen. I mean, I know a lot of discussions going. I think they've actually discussed, taking away the helmet. People quit leading with their head, if they probably didn't have a helmet on. Who knows? So one thing about it, one thing you have to say about the National Football League, they are constantly looking at ways to make the game safer. Make the game safer, and I think that's a credit to them and so forth.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, you alluded to obviously how fast the speed of the game, and looking at some of these rule changes in terms of hitting, whether it's defensive players or receivers, that sort of thing, it crosses into judgmental calls, and sometimes maybe a defensive player doesn't hit him, but the whiplash effect at that speed, it makes it look like he was hitting the head. I mean, is that something that it's tough for you guys? Is knowing, because
Ziff, you want to answer that? I mean, Ziff's a downfield guy. You want to answer as far as how difficult that is?
Yeah, it happens so fast. It's very difficult to see. So what you have to do is you have to see the actual impact and the contact. You can't guess. So then we'll be all over the place. So what you need to do is you need to see the entire play and then you rule on it. If it's anything near the head, you're going to err on the side of safety and go against it and call it a foul. They don't want them going to the head.
Is that the toughest thing that you have to deal with because you don't have the luxury of instant replay in making calls like that? It's purely judgmental.
Everything we do down there happens so fast. It's always very difficult. But yeah, that one there's no replays on. You don't get to look it over and slow it down and say, okay,
Pass interference, that's what they call.
Yeah, it is very difficult, but it's not any more difficult than a guy trying to toe tap at the sideline at 100 miles an hour with a guy in the same pocket pushing him and trying to hold and catch the football. So, with that one you can